What's up, everybody? Alex here. Welcome back to another video, and welcome to officially my 50th video. I just kind of saw that when I was looking at my channel, and I was like, okay, I'm at 49. Next one's 50. You know, every video matters, but some matter a little bit more than others, and 50 is just kind of a cool milestone. Of course, that includes some live streams and shorts and all that kind of stuff too, but either way, the number says 50, so this is the 50th. Thanks for being here, and I thought, what better way to celebrate 50 videos than with 50 records that are celebrating 50 years? So, a little bit of some cheating that's going to happen because it's hard to pick just 50. When I get to artists that might have released 2 albums in the same year, I'm just going to show both of those because I don't want, they're, whatever. So, it's really closer to 50 artists, 50 albums, plus or minus. Don't get caught up in the details, but these are not ranked. These are just 50 of my favorite records that are celebrating 50 years this year. So these were all released in 1974. And I think it's kind of a cool way to go through a little bit more of my collection and to show you all more of my music tastes and all that kind of stuff. So I know I'm missing a ton because there's only 50 and I probably have 150 or so records from 74, but such is life. Let me know what I'm missing. Let me know what you love. All that kind of stuff. So, of course, I'll be cheating a couple times because it wouldn't be a video without it. Cheers. And this is also going to be fairly alphabetical. So, you ready? Let's dive into it. So, I'm going to dive right in. How about the second from Aerosmith? Get Your Wings. Huge improvement over that debut. Great record. Let's go to one of my favorite bands of all time. Just did a video with these guys somewhat recently. They released 2 albums in 1974. This is sort of their masterpiece, Wish You Were Here from Badfinger. They also released Badfinger, the self-titled, that same year. But if you had a choice, this is the one. This is not their best work. It feels a little bit lazy. It feels a little bit tired. But this is up there. This is some great stuff right here. One of my favorite records of all time. 2 from Badfinger. Running out of space here. We got 2 from a great underrated English progressive rock band, Barclay James Harvest. So this was Everyone Is Everybody Else that came out in 74. Kind of I don't know if I hate that cover, but this is a great record. But the real winner in 74 for them was their live record. Nice double LP. Progressive rock, but strong emphasis on pop melodies, great vocal harmonies, use of orchestration, all that kind of stuff. Critics labeled them the Poor Moody Blues, and they actually ended up writing a song later on a record called Poor Moody Blues, but I actually like them a good amount more than Moody Blues, and I love the Moody Blues. So check these guys out. They're awesome. How about the debut? Just showed this the other day too. Debut, Axe Victim from the great Bebop Deluxe, and that great album cover there. Let's jump into some jazz fusion. Yeah, we're going to be showing a lot of fusion records. This guy was hugely prolific during this time, not only with all the bands that he was involved with, but obviously starting a solo career. And it's the second and third from the great Billy Cobham. Total Eclipse, Crosswinds. Similar bands being used here. They got the Brecker Brothers on here, John Abercrombie on here. These are some just banging jazz fusion records that I recommend for anybody. How about the third and arguably the best? You could argue it's the best. It's probably my favorite. Third from the great New York band Blue Oyster Cult with Secret Treaties. Awesome. Let's keep things going. We got 2 from the great Bob Dylan. Obviously, we got Planet Waves recorded with the band. Maybe not my favorite, but that's okay. I still love it. Not my favorite Dylan. It's still really good Dylan, but to me, the winner is going to be here with the Before the Flood live record. A nice mo-fi too. That's a nice little piece. But yeah, what a great record. Love that stuff. Let's go more English. Prague, maybe second tier, but I love this band and I love this record. It might be my favorite. I'm going to go with Mirage from Camel. And as you know, that is one stupid looking camel with like a gold teeth. I don't know, man. Don't worry about it. It's a camel. Here's 2. We got a live album and one of my favorite studio albums from one of my favorite artists of all time, the great David Bowie. Some days this is my favorite. Diamond Dog's my favorite Bowie record, but Bowie Live came out the same year as well, and it's absolutely amazing. I could listen to Sweet Thing. That's probably my favorite Bowie song. I love that song so much. Let's go to some hard rock and a couple from the Mark 3 era of the band. Of course, me just saying that, you know what's happening. The Great Burn and the Great Stormbringer. Both of these are absolutely outstanding. This one takes head a little bit, but absolutely great records here. A huge double shot from 74 with the addition of Glenn Hughes and David Coverdale. Awesome stuff. Stickin' proggy, poppy. This to me was the first amazing album in a long string of amazing albums, and still to this day, it's my favorite from them. I feel it's almost like the overly prog pick, but I'm going with El Dorado from Electric Light Orchestra, ELO. Amazing. I love this record so much. So that's coming in also released 74. Here's one of my favorite artists. Just did a video about this cat not long ago either. And he was putting out so many records. I'm surprised he only put out 2 during this time. I'm talking about the great Frank Zappa and Apostrophe, and then Roxy and Elsewhere. An incredible live record. This is amazing. This is amazing. It has actually one of his highest selling records, but a huge Zappa guy. Both of those are outstanding. How about we go into a little bit of funk? A little bit in that P-Funk world? How about some Funkadelic, man? That Cosmic Slop. Ooh, do you want to dance with me? We'll do the Cosmic Slop. You got to pay extra for that, though. All right. Is it bloated? Is it perfect? I do love this record, but I might like the other ones a little bit more, but you can't talk about 74 without talking about the great Lamb Lies Down on Broadway from Genesis. Absolutely amazing. Individuals coming from the Byrds, and this is such a good album. This was one of my favorite additions to the collection last year. That's Gene Clark, No Other. What a great freaking record this is. And a nice white label promo for the nerds out there like me. More prog. Shocker. We're gonna go with Gentle Giant, Power and the Glory. Kind of a fun one. This is an original UK on the WWA label. Yeah, amazing. Maybe going a little bit more. This is a little bit of a transition to more commercial type stuff, but still not commercial. This is amazing. Great record for sure. Although I think I like their few early ones better. Stickin' prog world, a little bit spacey though, a little bit out there, a little bit, hit it maybe a few times. Gong's You, man, what a great far out freaking record this is. Absolutely amazing on that fun Virgin label. Love that record. This might be my favorite record from this band. I love this era of the band, and I love all the eras, but I'm gonna go with From the Mars Hotel by the Grateful Dead. And I love that album cover too. But yeah, probably my favorite era of the Dead. More prog, this time a little bit more in the Canterbury world, as they say. How about some Hatfield in the North? A nice little promo DJ. Can you imagine the DJs that were playing Hatfield in the North? More people getting down to this shit? Probably not. But yeah, Hatfield in the North, this and the Routers Club are just absolutely amazing. This is a self-titled debut. Killer. Love it. How about some more funky fusion by way of Herbert Hancock? Yes, Herbie, man, his string of records that he was putting together during this time was so good. But this is Thrust. This was coming out shortly after his, Chameleon type. Wow, I can't even think of it. Too many records on my mind. But these Columbia era records are so good. We love a good promo timing strip too. Awesome stuff. Thrust from Herbie Hancock. One of my favorite singer-songwriters of all time, arguably my favorite from the U.S. at least, and this to me is my favorite record of his. It's Jackson Browne, Late for the Sky. I just, Late for the Sky is beautiful. Fountain of Sorrow, perfect. For a Dancer is one of my favorites, and then For the Deluge, amazing. Jackson Browne, Late for the Sky. Love it. How about Joni making a little bit of that difference in sound there, but Court and Spark, I think this was her highest selling, most popular record for sure, but man, beautiful record. I love the early Joni. I love sort of the more jazzy Joni, and I love what this was in the middle as well. Amazing stuff. How about some American progressive rock? Yes, American, and they are totally progressive rock. If you think they're just like an AOR band, you're freaking wrong. All you gotta do is listen to this record, the debut from Kansas. Man, this is a fiery, smoking record. Freaking love it. But yeah, debut from Kansas. Amazing stuff from 74. All right, we're doing a little bit of a double shot here with the next couple of them. Progressive rock, man. You got to do it, man. Starless and Bible Black and Red. Just amazing. This one's like half live, half studio or something like that. And obviously Red's one of their masterpieces, but they got a handful of them. I can't do one and not the other. So you're going to get Red as well as this one. How about another double shot from another K band? Kiss, of course, the debut, and then Hotter Than Hell. this is my favorite Kiss record. I just think the songs are the best on there. This is great too. Obviously, I think it suffered from some of the production issues, but man, it's just some great killer stuff all the way around. I'm a Kiss guy. I love this stuff. It's good on me. This is now going into the world of sort of mandatory fusion if you don't have this, and that is introducing the 11th House with Larry Coryell. Larry Coryell, just a burner of a guitar player, man. If you're trying to get into fusion, but you're coming from like a rock side, find this, man. Introducing the 11th House with Larry Coryell. Out friggin' standing. You got Randy Brecker on there. You got Alphonse Mouzon on there. Man, killer lineup, killer record. Mandatory fusion for me. Let's go to something completely on the other end of town. And that's with Lou Reed. Now, he did put out this record. I'm not crazy about this record from 74. What I am crazy about is this record, his live record, Rock and Roll Animal. This is a killer live album. In my opinion, one of the best single live albums of all time. His band is so damn good in this, but absolutely outstanding stuff. Some Lou Reed. How about this second from that little old band from, I guess they're from Florida, but they kind of pretended they're from Alabama. Whatever. Second Helping from Skynyrd. First pressing on that Sounds of the South yellow label there, subsidiary of MCA. We love it. Second Helping, man. Those first 5, basically until the accident, man. Great Skynyrd records. Just good old-fashioned, great Southern rock and roll. How about more jazz fusion, man? You cannot go wrong with the Mahavishnu Orchestra, and here's Apocalypse. Actually, this was produced by the great George Martin. All the work he did, but especially with the Beatles. This is them with an orchestra. Incredible. Apocalypse, Mahavishnu Orchestra. Get it. 2 major jazz releases from the great Miles Davis this year. A couple of these records. Kind of comps, kind of not, just because in jazz world it's a little bit different. But these are pulling, this is Big Fun. This is Get Up With It. Nice little promo, which we love to see. These are pulling from, I think, Jack Johnson era and then maybe Bitches Brew era. Could be wrong. It doesn't matter. These are amazing. Double records, both of them. More music than you could ever imagine. Great stuff. All right, here's a fun one. The last record from this great English hard rock and roll band that doesn't get talked about enough. Although I know Steve's always talking about him over at All the World's a Stage because we love you, Steve, and you're the best. But I'm also going to carry the torch. And I'm going to go with The Hoople from Mott the Hoople. Again, the last one before their breakup, essentially, well, their breakup basically before Ian Hunter leaves and does his own thing. This doesn't have Mick Ralphs on it, but it's okay, and this is where I cheat. Mick Ralphs is not on there. Why? Because he was out busy, okay, making this record and forming Bad Company. So I'm going to include both of these. Yeah, call it 51. I don't give a hell. Whatever. I love this record. I love this record too. So they're both making the cut, but yeah, Mick Ralphs leaves here, forms this, Bad Company comes out. We'll take it. Might be my favorite. I've said that a lot. This, on certain days, On the Beach is my favorite Neil Young album. I love it. A beautiful, beautiful album. I love it. How about some Prague, More Proud, by way of Italy? Here we go. We have this, The World Becomes the World from the great PFM, Premiata, Fornea Marconi. Amazing. And then their live album the same year, PFM Cook. That's what it was called here in the US. It's called something different elsewhere. On that classic Manicore label, which was the ELP label. But yeah, if you don't know PFM, you're a Prague person, get into it. Great Italian Prague. Amazing. 2 of my favorite, I think in terms of bands that released 2 albums in 1 year, these are 2 of my favorite albums of all time. And every day I go back and forth about which one I like more. So we're going to show them both, obviously, because they're amazing. But holy shit, can you beat Queen 2 and Sheer Heart Attack in 1 year? Can you? I don't know. These are my 2 favorite Queen albums. I love these both absolutely to death. A couple of my favorites. All right, we're sticking in Prague world. Sensing a trend here. How about Turn of the Cards from the great Renaissance? Annie Haslam, Michael Dunford and company. Man, they just had a great strand of just great records, all solid. This is right in the middle of it. Absolutely amazing. This one's going back to mandatory fusion. Again, if you're thinking about jazz fusion, but a little bit scared, don't know where to go, look no further. Where Have I Known You Before? Return to Forever, featuring obviously the great Chick Corea. God rest his soul. We just lost him a couple years ago, but man, this and Romantic Warrior are my favorite Return to Forever records, but this one might be my favorite. All right. How about this? Yeah, Rolling Stones. Maybe it's not as great as what was coming a couple years before, but it's still pretty damn good. It's only rock and roll from the Stones. How about this one? It's a double shot because it's got an alternative cover. Arguably Roxy Music's best of the classic era, you know, Avalon's wonderful. A lot of people put that their best, but at the same time, I think this is more representative of their sound of the time. But we're going with Country Life. Yeah, we got both of them because we got a censored cover. We'll get that out of there real quick. Country Life, great record. I love this. I know it's not the band, it's not, you know, what everybody knew, and I love Neil Peart to death, but I still love this freaking record to death, man. What a great debut. Just great, solid, hard rock and roll. Rush debut. Amazing. How about the second record, and the first one to feature the great Uli John Roth? We're talking about Fly to the Rainbow from Scorpions. I love this era of Scorpions. I love it a lot more than sort of the 80s stuff that would come later. This is a sweet spot for me for the Scorpions. Absolutely love it. Again, another band that was putting out so many great, consistent records. Can't go wrong with Steely Dan, in my opinion. All of those are so damn good, and I put Pretzel Logic right up there with the rest of them. One of my favorite records of all time, for sure. Yeah, the sleeve on this is beat, but it's a MoFi, and it was the first MoFi that was done. We're talking Supertramp's Crime of the Century. I think I got this for $10 because obviously the cover is trashed, but the record's in great shape. This is already a sonic masterpiece. It's one of my favorite records of all time. MoFi sounds great. The first two MoFis on vinyl they ever did, Crime of the Century and Dark Side of the Moon. I mean, come on. I love this record, though. Supertramp, Crime of the Century. Let's go to some English glam, actually, here with two of them. Arguably the best, Desolation Boulevard from Sweet. Love this record. It's great stuff. What more can you say about it? In the same vein of that English glam sort of stuff, people think T-Rex is all about Slider and Electric Warrior, but man, I love Tanks. I love this record a lot. After that, they kind of fall off a little bit for me, but I am all in on Tanks. Amazing stuff. How about the first, not the first record from Thin Lizzy, but the first with the dual guitar work of Scott Gorham and Robo Brian Robertson? Man, I know it's not their best. This is Nightlife. I know it's not their best and their best would become, but I still really, really love this record. Yeah, Nightlife, Thin Lizzy, the first with that dual guitar, and really defined what their sound was outside of some of that more folkier type stuff, Irish folk that they were doing early. Same kind of story, actually. This is not their first record, but it's their first with Michael Schenker, who would really completely define their sound. This is Phenomenon from UFO. Man, again, perfect strain of those 5 or 6 UFO albums with Michael on there. Absolutely killer, mandatory, hard rock and roll. This one goes out to Sam St. John. I know you're watching out there because you're a good guy. We got to throw in the Tom Waits, man. I love those first several Tom Waits records. This is the heart of Saturday night, man. It's just good old-fashioned sit back, have a cocktail, light a candle, and a lamp, and just get in your feelings, man. I love this stuff. And the heart of Saturday night from Tom Waits. Mandatory prog out there, but I know some people don't like them, but it's funny, you know, you had Todd Rundgren who was doing all this like, you know, poppy kind of stuff, and which was all great, you know, whatever, but then he's out there putting out just some insane prog music with Todd Rundgren's Utopia. This record's insane. It's like 65 minutes of music too. Like, it sounds terrible because the grooves are so close together, but this is wild, amazing progressive rock courtesy of Todd Rundgren and company. How about a live album that never gets talked about, but I absolutely love it, and it deserves more. And that's It's Too Late to Start Now, I think. Too Late to Stop Now from Van Morrison. Man, I mean, you can't go wrong with Van during this period. I mean, just absolutely amazing. He'd lose me a little bit there shortly thereafter, but people don't talk about this record enough, but this is an amazing, amazing double live record from Van Morrison. And last, here we are last. We have arrived at the very end. We're going to be under 20 minutes. Let's go. It's, of course, Relayer from Yes. What an amazing, amazing album. No Rick Wakeman here, no problem. Patrick Moraz just kills it, in my opinion. 3 tracks, it's all you need. It's a perfect record. This is up there in top 4. 5, it don't matter. This is a great Yes record. I love it. Yes, Relayer. There you go. That's all of it. I know it was more than 50, but I had to do the double shots for those who did it. 2 in the same year. 50 records, 50 artists, celebrating 50 years and celebrating me with 50 videos on the YouTube. Thanks to all of you. Seriously, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. Let me know what I missed, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, y'all. Bye.